What's up, y'all, and welcome to Authentically Audrey B TV. I am your girl, Audrey B, and we are back for another recap of my favorite show, your favorite show, America's favorite show, Abbott Elementary. So let's get into it, shall we? How it might be low energy today, y'all, but we're gonna get through this. I had some bad news, and I just been dealing with this stuff all day. But I can say that before all of this, I was hype um about this recap because it was very simple. The episode very straight to the point, and y'all know it always makes people, well, not people, me reflect, right? So we get the beginning of the episode where two of the cafeteria workers are sitting down with Ava, and they are demanding some work mats. They're wanting her to um kind of take their job into consideration and help them out, basically, because they're always there, right? And she was giving them like the cold shoulder, like, what y'all got me sitting here for? Like, no, right? And so that was pretty much the end of that. And then we fast forward to a torrential rainfall where all the kids, all the students, the teachers, everybody is just coming into school in the morning, and they are just drenched. They're soaking wet. And then, unbeknownst to them, here's some random man who is just like, hey, and everybody's like, hey, who are you? Like, everybody's complaining, grumbling, talking about how crazy they look. Barb's hair is messed up. Janine looks a mess. Melissa's eyeshadow and eye makeup is dripping down her face. And he's like, I'm here for picture day. And they're like, picture day? What do you mean picture day? Do you see us? Do you see these kids? Absolutely not. You're gonna have to reschedule. And he was like, no, y'all tried that last time. I'm coming back today, and we're gonna do it today. And y'all need to come on and get with it because I got other things to do and other people to see. And Ava walks up, and they're like, did you really forget to tell us and remind us that it was picture day? And of course, Ava said something silly and sarcastic or whatever. And so they had to bite the bullet, right? And they first started with the younger kids, as we always do in elementary school. And they were not happy about being soaking wet. They weren't happy about sitting down and taking a picture. They just weren't with it. But the teachers were working together to try to, fix the kids' hair, like make them, look presentable, because, parents pay for these pictures and they're expensive as heck. And they want them to look nice if they have to, follow through after they done been rained on all morning. And in the midst of them having this conversation, the photographer is just like, well, while we're here, let's go ahead and get you guys' picture done. And they're like, who? Who said that? Who? And everybody's like, no, 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 no. Like, are you can't be serious. Like, no, we're not up to par. No, absolutely not. He's like, look, I have some time to kill. Like, before the older ones, like, we need to get this again. We need to get this show on the road. And so they too bite the bullet, and they had no choice but to take the pictures, right? And so meanwhile, the everybody is in the cafeteria, and there's some like what would you call it, some instigating going on, or some like drama going on that people are noticing between the cafeteria workers and Ava. And Jacob is like on lunchroom duty or whatever, and he's ready to take his class to go after they eat lunch. And come to find out, they have made sloppy joes for picture day. And I just was like, oh no, that is the worst picture day meal that you could ever think of, besides just opening packages of ketchup for these little kids. Like, we don't we my school, our class, we don't play. Like, hopefully our scheduled time to take pictures is early, like before lunch. and ain't no syrup if y'all taking it after breakfast, because ain't nobody got time, like I said before, to hear the parents' mouth about why their kids look a mess, and gotta wait till, the retake day to take the pictures, right? So Jacob is like, absolutely not. Like, what is going on? Like, this is gonna be horrible. These kids are just a mess. Like, why would you do this or whatever? And they just kind of give him a look, and I don't remember if they said something to him or they just looked at him, and then in walks Ava, and they gave her this nasty stare down. And she was just like, really? And then, they're asking, like, what's going on between y'all two or whatever. And so they end up having this negotiation because, again, they were basically pissed off that Ava just gave them the cold shoulder and didn't want to give them the mats to go on the floor because they're on their feet all the time. The mats will help them, their feet feel better, like all of that stuff. And so she caved in, and they didn't expect her to cave in as fast as she did. So they didn't have a backup lunch. And they talk about, we can give them the rolls, we can give them the bread. And she's just like, whatever. Also, they said they could give them bibs. Like, be for real. These is middle schoolers. So Melissa and Jacob was just like, oh my gosh, because I keep forgetting that Melissa is teaching middle school now too. So she's, was on duty with Jacob in the hallway, right? So we get to the library again, where the older kids now are taking the pictures, and Jacob is noticing that none of his students are smiling. And right off the bat, that's something that I noticed. I noticed that in pictures all the time, especially them boys, because I have nephews and I work with middle schoolers and at my church, and they think that it's like cool to look hard in the picture or show no teeth and all this other stuff. So he was just like kind of taken aback at the fact that even the girls and the boys were just deciding that nobody smiles in pictures. And I understand the sentiment that smiling in pictures seems forced because people are telling you to smile, like you're not smiling naturally. I get that, but like Jacob was trying to get them to understand, like, y'all gonna have these pictures forever, like smile, like I know y'all can smile, like y'all gonna look at these and be upset, because who wants a picture of you just not doing anything? Like, it's a mess. And as I say that, I'm reminded of the way that Greg was posing and practicing his smile, because he said he can't smile on cue basically, and giving the eyes. I said, sir, please never make your eyes that big again. Please never make your eyes that big again. That man was forcing himself to take a picture, and everybody was just like, oh my God. Like, it's so funny that he is so quirky like that, right? So Jacob is literally just like I said, taken aback by his students, and they're giving him all these reasons as to why. He got one student had sloppy Joe juice and stains all on his shirt, and he's just like, what's really happening? It's not, forget the stains. Y'all not smiling, and I'm not happy with this, right? And so it's a week later, and everybody comes back, and they're walking down the hallway, and they have this wall with the teacher's pictures put up, and Ava's. Of course, Ava looks snatched. She looks good. But everybody else is like, oh no, like, why did I wear this color dress, and why does my ears look so big, or why look at my eyeliner, like all of this stuff. And that was Greg, Janine, and Jacob and Melissa, right? And they all look up because Barb refused to take a picture, right? Her hair was a mess. She refused. But she ended up doing it, I guess, when nobody saw her. And then come to find, and so everybody was kind of like looking at her picture like, your hair wasn't like that. You weren't wearing that. How come yours look so good? Like, you looked a mess. And it was like a running joke throughout the episode that Jacob kept on commenting on Black women's hair and stuff like that. And being and like throwing out microaggressions as well, and that was pretty funny too. But everybody was just like, Barb, like, how does yours come out like this? And so she kept denying it, kept denying it. And then she let them know that her daughter Taylor used some app called Menage Barrage, something like that, something silly, and it basically just like photoshopped everything, and everybody was like, "Why would you do that?" or whatever. And then as they're looking at this wall, whatever, the kids are joking on their pictures, they're making fun of their pictures, they're just, and the teachers are picking themselves apart, like pick. Like, I can't believe I look like this. Greg, why is your ears so big? Greg, they were just picking themselves apart. And everybody was like, I can't believe she did that. Like, because they was going back and forth, and they just kept coming back to this wall every day. Kept coming back to this wall. And Barb couldn't understand, she turned into a little hypocrite real quick, because she was like, whatever happened to being beautiful? Whatever happened to being who God made you to be? And they're like, are you serious? You started this. And so we see that the cafeteria workers are still messing with her. They done defaced Ava's picture and talked bad about her. And Mr. Johnson was kind of like following her around throughout the episode, and like, saying little bits and pieces. Like, I can't even really remember, y'all. It's been a long day. But he was, just being himself, being silly as ever. And she basically, between the cafeteria workers and Ava, she was just like, what is y'all deal? Like, what did I do to y'all? Like, I gave y'all the mats, I caved in. What is the deal? And basically what they were trying to get her to understand, without even talking, like, communication is key. I say it all the time. But they wanted to be included in picture day. They wanted to be seen as valuable staff members in Abbott Elementary, because they're there before everybody gets there. They know the allergies, they know what kids can and cannot have, and they get pooped on. Basically, they don't feel valued, they don't feel respected, and they're not even in yearbooks. They don't get the chance to take pictures and all the other stuff, and that's basically all that they wanted. And I got to thinking, and I was like, you know what, I don't never see no cafeteria workers in no yearbook. I worked on the yearbook in high school. I looked at the yearbook that they had last year. I didn't see no cafeteria workers, no custodians. Like, I'm like, wow, that needs to be changed. Shine a light on that. And that is what Abbott Elementary does. They're gonna shine that light. But anyway, so they broke it down to Ava as to why they still had like this attitude towards her. And she arranged, which that we saw in, she arranged for them to have their photo op and hung it on the wall. So now that that's over, the other teachers were, like I said, they just kept coming back to these pictures on the wall, right? And then everybody was, picking themselves apart. And little by little, we saw pictures of people, of the teachers, Janine, Melissa, Jacob, Greg. They were photoshopping themselves with this app that Barb told them about, and acting like, oh, I just did a little tweak here, I did a little tweak there, or they weren't being honest about it. And so they was kind of like going back and forth with each other, and the kids were also just ragging on and joking on them. You look silly. Why you look like this? Why you look like that? How are you the fashion club leader and you can't even dress, and all this other stuff, right? And so while they go back and forth with each other, the teachers specifically, they're like, I look, just kept picking. And so they didn't snap out of it until one of the younger students was just like, well, I don't like my picture either. I maybe I need to Photoshop it. Or he said something to that effect, like basically like, well, I don't like it, I'm ugly, I think I need to fix my stuff too. And that kind of, everybody was like, and they was like, oh, no. So it got them to thinking, right, that they were like doing the absolute most. instead of, like Barb said, even though she was the first one who did it, instead of embracing who they are, like nobody's perfect, right? And to me, honestly, the original pictures, they look fine. So everybody is like kind of down, like thinking like, dang, I can't believe we was really doing the most behind these pictures and letting each other, ourselves, and these kids get under our skin to where we really in our head about how we look, and we got to look a certain type of way or whatever. And so they're talking, and then Greg makes a statement, and then Mr. Johnson says something to the something like, he paused. He must have an idea, but he don't. But then he was like, "Oh, but I do." And so we see that at the end, Greg's idea was for everybody to bring in either their favorite picture or just a younger picture of them. So like high school, middle school, baby picture, while you're like little league picture, whatever you were, so those people hung those pictures up. So that they could just be like, show the kids like, this was me, like this was me at your age, or this is just me without a touch up, without Photoshop, without a filter. And it's okay. It's okay, because we all know that kids are living in a world, and we are living in a world too, where we're good editors, right? We always want to post all the positive, all the good, and want to make it seem like that we don't live in a real world where everybody is not always on 100% of the time. Everybody's not always snatched in makeup and hair for days and looking sharp. No. And so people get freckles, people get pimples, people have acne, people gain weight, people lose weight, people get braces, people got messed up teeth. It's just all these things that I feel like, even just with the kids that I know, like they are so on image, they're stuck on image, and it's been like that forever. But I feel like that was a way again for them to shine a light on, kids also pick up what you putting down. So if they're easily influenced, and they see stuff, and they're affected by it, whether it's positive or negative. And how you do things, when you think about it, children are looking up to us, people are looking at you, and sometimes they repeat those things and start to look at themselves and picking themselves apart when they haven't even hit puberty yet. It's crazy. But I thought that was a really good, cute little episode. Like I said in the beginning, very simple, very, very straightforward. But I love the idea of having the teacher pictures in the hallway. I love the idea that Greg had of bringing in the pictures from when the kids were younger. I love Jacob, right? I love Jacob. I loved his picture, because if you watch the episode, those are real pictures of them. Like even Barb had her baby picture there, and the little girl was like, "That's you?" But how? Because her picture was the only one that was in black and white. Janine looked so cute. Melissa's little picture, you could tell that was her little baby face. And then of course we grew up watching Tyler on TV, so we knew that was him, and all of his siblings looked just alike, him and his two brothers. But it was really cute. But like I said, in the end, Greg's idea worked, and everybody was satisfied. And then the very end, the little ending of the episode, Janine and Mr. Johnson and Greg are in the teacher's lounge, and Greg is super self-conscious about his ears because they kept making comments about it. And then he wanted to, practice his smile some more, because like I said before, he said that he can't smile on cue or under pressure or something like that. So Janine was like, okay, let's just practice. And it was a struggle. It was a struggle. So Mr. Johnson, in all his wisdom, told him to smile from the diaphragm, and he modeled it for him, and Greg did it, and he smiled, and I believe that Tyler has the prettiest smile ever. So he was smiling. That boy was cheesing, but he still got got joked on about his ears, and I was like, his ears ain't even big. And even when he was on Everybody Hates Chris, I don't remember his ears being that big, or maybe they were. I don't know. But yeah, that was the episode, y'all. I'm just about to edit the beginning and put this right on the. It's an almost 20-minute video, and I feel like I was talking about a minute as usual. The time be flying. And I mentioned in the beginning that I had some bad news, and so I'm soliciting prayers for myself, my family, my church family. Our church building burned down earlier this morning. That building is the only church I know. It's been in this particular location in Louisville, Kentucky since 1991. So I was like 3. And it was originally where our airport is, but we moved there because they needed to expand and in the airport. So we had to sell the building. They knocked it down and they built this church up. And y'all, we went down there today, and the devastation is unbelievable, unreal. I've been saying it all day. It feels like a death in the family. Like, you just can't wrap your head around it. Like, I never in a million years would have thought this happened. So soliciting prayers, y'all. So if there's low energy, I do apologize. It was very hard for me to even push myself to get on here, and I just got off of class on Zoom for 2 hours. So please keep her saying prayers. And I thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you. I do. And I will see you guys on the next recap. Peace.